Hello, how are you guys? Hope you are well. Today, my discussion topic is the differences between iPhone versus Android. And one of my subscriber comment on my channel that he wants to know about the differences between iPhone versus Android. So I'm telling you about the differences between iPhone versus Android. Which phones are better, iPhone or Android? The debate never ends, and most people choose to be fans of either iOS or Android. No matter what, I have owned several iPhone and at least 10 Android smartphones in the last decades. And I'm not even counting the one I review regularly for my job. While I try not to pick a winner and a loser in this article, here are the main difference I noticed between iPhone and Android smartphones. Uh, let's talk about the hardware sessions from the iPhone and Android. First, let's look at the hardware differences. Although many manufacturers of Android devices have tried to copy the design of iPhone, the reverse is also true, albeit in a less obvious way. What's the difference then? Let's see the formats of design. Every year, there are literally hundreds of Android smartphones being released. In 21, there were over 500 of intense iPhones. Four, not 400, just four. Apple released 3 to 5 smartphones models each year, and they all have very similar design that translates in a obviously huge number of designs available each year of Android phones, from traditional designs to foldable smartphone, and from phones dedicated to hardcore photography and videography, enthusiasts to phones designed to withstand shocks and deep water submersion. On the other hand, iPhone users have to do with what Apple dedicates is trendy this year. Furthermore, since Apple is not interested in competing in the entry-level market, if you want a brand new smartphone but can't afford the 399 USD, means United States dollar, for an iPhone SE in 2020. Your options are limited to Android smartphones only. Don't worry, though there are over 350 models below 400 USD launched in 2021 alone. So there are a large pool of some choice. Regarding actual device design, Android smartphones are tending to follow the same patterns: a volume rocker, a power button, and that's it. Only some enthusiast smartphones like the Sony Pro, I have additional one, like a camera shutter button. Phones are even more strict. Are removing the home button. With every iPhone have followed the same basic: a power button or a side button, a volume rocker, and a rather vestigial silent switch. But while the iPhone buttons rarely change positions from one generation to next generation on Android phones, there is more variety in terms of buttons, positions, and size, especially since from them use the power button as a fingerprint reader. Energy and next session I will tell you about the energy efficiency of raw power. So surprisingly, with so many companies competing in the Android market is Apple, who has the lead in terms of raw computing power. The latest iPhone A15 Bionic chipset destroys virtually any other mobile chipsets while being significantly more power efficient. Here is a Geekbench score comparison between the A14 Bionic, which is launched in 2020 and on the iPhone 12 series, and Qualcomm SM8350 Snapdragon 888 on the fastest and most expensive Android smartphones. The Sony Pro launched in late 2021. What is somewhat offset by the fact that iPhone have lower capacity batteries. This was especially true before the iPhone 13 series. For example, the iPhone 20 has a 2815 mAh battery compared to the 4000 mAh battery of Samsung Galaxy S21. The trend is reversing though. While many users were complaining of the battery of iPhone's life, that is no longer true with iPhone 13 range. Now, I will tell you about the difference of features and innovations. In the Android ecosystem, innovation has always been the main focus. Many manufacturers even risk introducing new, unproven features in order to stand out from the competitions. In contrast, Apple has made slow in adopting features, only introducing them when they were completely sure that the features would be a success. Let's take high refresh rate screens. While the first Android iPhone with 100 display come out in 2017, Apple only implemented these features 4 years later on the iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max. Which, while iPhone users might feel deprived, this kind of delay also ensure a much better implementations of any particular features. For example, the first iterations of Samsung's foldable display was terrible in terms of durability and life expectancy, and only now with the third generations of Galaxy J Fold can we say we are comfortable with the technology. With iPhone, you don't have to fear that experimental features will ruin your experience. Now, I'll telling you about authentications from those phones. In the introductions of features is slow on Apple smartphones. They are leading in terms of the removal of features. Many Android users use facial recognitions, but most of them still use fingerprints as an authentication method. iPhones, on the other hand, removed fingerprint authentications back in 2018. This is mostly because their face recognition system, the Face ID is hands down the best there is. It can recognize your face in the dark. It can pick up your features, even the extreme angles, and it does so in the blink of an eye. Even more expensive is that even though face masks impede face authentications, Apple has found a solution that is to be implemented in iOS 15.4 on all Face ID capable iPhones. Coming from an Android device, the lack of fingerprints reads might seem odd at first, but once you experience and get used to the brilliant implementations on face recognition on iPhones, you will most likely never feel like going back to the fingerprint authentication. So if you use you are used to in Face ID, you will never be accept or you will never be hopeful to use the fingerprint. So it is not be usable from you, from your thinking. Now I will tell you about the connectivity of iPhone and Android. Here's the differences, are huge differences on the connectivity. Android smartphone have a wide range of connectivity options available. Infrared, Bluetooth, physical headphone jacks, USB-C, all of these are widely used and compatible with a modern device. On the other hand, Apple, being so eager to innovate by removing features, has removed the headphone jack from the iPhones more than 5 years ago, starting with the iPhone 7. iPhone do have the most modern connectivity options like Bluetooth, NFC, and Wi-Fi. As the infrared blasters, iPhone never even bothered to them in the first place. And the reason for this attitude towards connectivity is kind of logical if you read the next difference between the iPhone smartphones and iPhones. So I would like to tell you about the accessories of Android and iPhone. On Android devices, most accessories and wearables are interchangeable. You can use Samsung smartwatches with Huawei smartphones, Sony headphones with Xiaomi headphones, and so on. Yes, some of them might have slightly less functionality, but overall, you will not forced into a ecosystem like you are on iPhone. Yes, you can use the AirPods, for example, on Android smartphones, but the trade-off all that you lose some features, but do you have to pair the high quality wired headphones that you want to use on modern iPhone. That will be 9 USD, thank you. And there's the catch. The accessories dedicated to iPhone are usually much more expensive than their Android counterparts. Do you want to buy a third-party charging cable after you get crude through the one of that come with the device? For Android phones, you can find a USB-C cable literally everywhere for a few bucks, and much of them will be compatible with your device. On iPhone, the proprietary lightning port and accepts a small selection of third-party cables. If you buy an uncertified cable, you get this cable accessories not certified error message. The cost of original Apple cable, 19 USD. Whoa, that's more. 19 USD. Can you imagine? 19 USD is too much. Now I will tell you the longevity, service, and repair. One of the biggest issues I have with iPhone is its view on service and repair, and I'm not talking about the absurd repair prices, although that is also an issue. Until recently, repairing a modern iPhone outside the certified official services centers was a nightmare due most to artificial hundreds Apple introduced to prevent from the repairing your iPhone. Things like using proprietary screw, pairing the screen with other parts of the smartphone so that you could simply replace it, are completely artificial absurd that are not linked to any technical limitations. Due to public backlash, Apple attitude towards self-repairs has recently improved, with parts being made available for individual consumers starting from the iPhone 12 onwards. The being said, the lifespan of iPhone is longer than that similar Android iPhones. Thanks to the higher quality of materials, better engineering, and better software support, battery life discipline repeatedly after 3 or 2 years have been used, no matter what smartphone you buy. Now I will telling you about the physical storage from the iPhone or Android. More and more smartphones have moved away from this, but until recently, most Android devices have expectable physical storage. iPhone, on the other hand, come with fixed storage, and if you are a photo holder like me, or you enjoying records video, you might run into storage space issue down the road. Of course, you can download your media files to a computer productory, but as you will see in the next selections, even that isn't also straightforward on iPhones. So I will telling you about the software sessions of iPhone and Android. While you could argue that the skin on an iPhone comes from the same factory as the one made for a Samsung Galaxy, or that chip manufactured plants for iPhone and Android devices are located in the same city or even have the same owner, the software is completely different on iPhone and Android. Let's look the several main difference between iOS and Android, like open source versus closed operating system. In 2003, a company named Android started developing an operating system for digital cameras. Android is based on Linux and thus it is a fully open source operating system. iOS, on the other hand, is developed in-house by Apple and only has parts of the code that are open source. There are numerous articles of the beneficials and disadvantages of open source, but the main takeaway is the open source software is the most transparent, more easily accessible, and much more robust in terms of security, like the source of systems is, but it is also less regulated, which has big impact on users experience. The most important thing, let's talk about the updates. The update is most important because who don't want to update his phone. So let's check about the iPhone and Android's updates. Looking strictly at security updates, Android seems to have a clear disadvantages over iOS, as new security updates are released for Android smartphones every month. However, when we factor in the delay of propagations, like each manufacturer decided when to push that update, usually after it has finished internal testing, and the limited support period some devices have, we can say that most Android devices, apart from Pixel smartphones, which always gets updates on soon as they are released, are actually running relatively outdated software. This is a true for opening operating systems updates or new versions as well. While Android 12 has been released on October 2021, a huge number of otherwise compatible smartphones have yet to receive the new versions at the time article is written in February 2022. For iPhone, the process is similar, simpler, and more strict at the same time. Security updates are much rare and are pushed to all supports iPhones at the same time. As for operating systems updates, they are available at the same time for all supported iPhone as well. Furthermore, Apple devices have excellent software support. The iPhone SE launched in 2016 can be updated on latest iOS versions 15.3 without any issue. Flagship Android devices from the same year were already outdated in 2018. Let's talk about the interface. The interface of Android devices varies to a great extent from one manufacturer to the next. This means, on the one hand, that you will certainly find a operating system skin that you enjoy using, but not the other hand, it makes switching from an Android phones to one from another manufacturer or more different. However, sky's the limit when it comes to customizing the appearance of the Android interface. You can make your phone interface look like a Star Trek TikToker or personalized your significant other's Android phones with a Valentine's theme. The interface is identical for all phones supporting the same iOS version. Moving from a 2016 iPhone to 2022 one is almost seamless, but this also comes with the disadvantages as customization options are much more limited for iPhone. And you are not talking just about the looks, even though it's 2022, Apple devices still don't have proper app drawer, so applications are dumped on the home screen. Like I would like to say about the stores from those phones. Google Pay is the official app store for Android iPhones. It roughly 3.5 million apps compared to the 2.3 millions for Apple's App Store. However, Apple does a better job at monetizing its Apple with a global consumer spending the third quarter of 2022 of about 19 billion USD. Google Pay spending in the same time period just 10.3 billion USD. Numbers don't paint the whole picture though. The variety of apps in Play Store is incredible, and thanks to the more flexible nature of Android apps, and Google Pay can do things that iPhone users don't have access to. The vast majority of the apps and Google Play Store are free, but most of these also have ads, while more restricted in the terms app features. Malware apps almost never bypass the strict filtering imposed by Apple. So overall, you are safer and have a better experience in the App Store. If I would like to tell you about the apps, there are no other way to put it. iOS third-party apps crash less, have greater functionality, and fewer ads. This also encourages developments to launch their apps and updates on iOS device lists. The number of quality difficult apps pre-installed on Android iPhones vary widely from a minimum require of huge amount of bloatware. The apps that comes with every iPhone, while arguably less refined than their Google counterparts. The most important and not the least, the privacy. We should say about the privacy session. Here's a questions for you. Google makes money from providing target ads based on each user's location, browsing, shopping, and viewing preferences. Apple makes its money from selling iPhone and from offering services to its users. Which of the two companies would you trust more regarding privacy? Although the answer might appear obviously in most cases you can get similar level of privacy on both operating systems. The difference is that you will have to dig more the menus of Android devices. Overall, Apple collects less data from users, and the third-party apps present in the App Store have more strict and guidelines regarding privacy. Let's talk about the backup and file transfer. Both iPhone and Android smartphone have solid cloud backup solutions as default. But while Google offers 15 GB of storage for free, Apple only offers 5 GB on its iCloud. It's very less, it's very poor. And I think uh, Apple should grow their iCloud sections because it's too less. 5G is too less for the iPhone users. Uh, okay, the space gets filled up pretty quiet, and which is turned disables backup for apps and settings. Transferring files to your computer is stable with most Android smartphones. Announced connected with a USB cable, you can choose mount the smartphone storage as a disk drive, and then you can drag and drop copy paste files any location. You can mount the drives as a media player, allowing you to easily upload videos and download media files. Uh, let's talk about the market position. It's not just the hardware and software. There are two other differences that notice that I would categorize the being more general and consequence of all other aspects present above. Uh, that is reasons of iPhones and Androids. So there are many peoples in our society. Some people love to use iPhone, some people loves to use Android. So it's on their choice and their opinion which phone they would like to use. But you should sacrifice more things when it comes to iPhone, but you will be pleased with the security system. If you are user of iPhone, then you will be very glad to be the privacy session, because iPhone have the most privacy in ever. But the Android is not have this privacy system as like as Android. So Android is a phone from which you can use every apps, and you can customize your software, customize your phone. But on the iPhone, you cannot customize your iPhone, or you cannot do download any other third-party apps with your iPhone, because the iPhone will never support the third-party apps or third-party things. So here some differences is like camera sessions. Here iPhone have a camera with Chrome browser, Chrome filter. Everyone are familiar with the Chrome filter, and which is also known today is a Vivid. So these features makes the iPhone perfect when we can say that iPhone users are always busy to take pictures when they go to any programs or marriage sessions. Everyone's calls the iPhone user, please take my picture, please take my pictures. No one called the Android users to take their pictures, because always the all the peoples of the country likes the picture quality of iPhone. In this session, the iPhone goes faster and goes like ahead with their camera. So iPhone is a good, but if you are like most like frequently user, you are a hard user of a phone, you can go with Android. But you are like you are like love to be your private secret, and then you can go to Android iPhone. And if you are going to iPhone, one thing is that you have to need a Apple ID. Without your Apple ID, you cannot do anything. As like the Google Store needs a Gmail, but the iPhone needs Apple ID, and iPhone have the security system is that if you lose your phone, if you lost your phone, then the phone will be deactivated, and your data will not go to the people who stolen your phone. It will be safe from you, or it will be safe from this, say, thief. So it is very nice to hear that the iPhone have this privatization. And today is my topic is here, and if you have any questions regarding to my topic or regarding to my video, please comment session in below. And please, if you like my video, do subscribe my channel and like and comment, and let me know which videos you would like to know, and you would like to hear from me. And mm, this is all for the videos today. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. Thank you supporting me, and do subscribe and like my video.